Hello, everyone. Welcome to this webinar, or, well, it's not really a webinar, it's just a chat with me and with Rich. I think that Fatima and Natalia, can you let me know who is here so far? I can only see the list of staff.
We have Erica Harney that just joined us.
Hi, Erica.
Hi, Erica.
And is there anyone else yet that's joined us? Should we wait a little bit longer?
Yes, let's wait a few minutes.
Okay. I think it used to be, is there a way for me to see when people join? I don't think there is on my.
Let me see what I can do.
Thank you.
Sure. We have Angela Seward just joining in.
Hi, Angela. Welcome. We're just waiting a little bit before we get started to see who else. There's a few more people that said they were going to be joining us. Good morning. Okay, I can still only see Stan or Y. Anyway, are there anyone else joined us, Natalia?
Not yet.
Okay. I'm gonna wait just another minute and then we can get started. I think.
Good morning, Rich.
Good morning. That must be Angela.
Yes.
Hey,
Sorry,
how
can
are
you
you?
see me? I see
Yes.
the two of you.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think those are the only things that show right now, or our screens. I don't know if we can make others screens.
Yeah, I think it's just voice for people joining, and
Okay.
you get the pleasure of seeing our faces.
That's always a good thing. Your happy smile. How are the
things?
kids?
Doing just fine. Yeah, thanks. How about on your end? So, yeah, do you know Dr. Eikenberry, Angela? Angela meets Angela?
We've met just via this, and I think at ARNOVA once before, but we haven't been able to sit down and have a good drink and talk or anything. So.
Hopefully that's in the future.
Yes.
Well, maybe we should get started. Natalia, has anybody else joined us?
No, not yet.
Okay, let's plan it. So Angela's here and Erica is here. Hi, Erica. Can you hear us okay? Can we hear you at all? You might need to turn on your mic.
Oh, good.
Okay, hi. So there's just a few of us here. We could do a quick round of introductions and maybe some other folks will join us as we're getting going. As I think both of you might know, Eric, I don't know if you have been on one of these calls before. It's very informal, a chance for us to get to know each other a little bit, and we could give you some updates. And this time we have Rich joining us as well. I'm really happy to have you here, Rich. Could give a little introduction or a chance for you to meet some of our members. And then, yeah, we've got a few updates, and then if you have any questions that you want to ask or anything you want to discuss along the way, we can do that as well. So let's do a quick round of introductions to get started, and maybe Erica, do you want to go first? Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. So my name is Erica Harney. I live in Dayton, Ohio. Have been, I guess, an ARNOVA member maybe 10-ish years. I'm a doctoral candidate at Eastern University, and then also have my own consulting practice in nonprofit management.
Welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thanks.
Angela, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Angela Seaworth, and I've been in ARNOVA again about a decade around that time. Started when I was in the doctoral program at the Lilly Family School. Right now, I am a VP of development, but do my own consulting as well for capacity building. And I'm teaching at Texas A&M, at Notre Dame, and the University of California, Irvine, and doing a little fundraising schoolwork too. So I have my hands in a lot of universities right now. It's great to be with you all.
Thanks for joining us. And we also have on the call Natalia. Natalia, you want to introduce yourself? Okay.
Hi, everyone. My name is Natalia Rivera. I'm the Events and International Program Assistant. I'm happy to be here. And we also have another person joining us, Tom Southard. Sorry for butchering your last name.
Hi, Tom. Thanks, Natalia. Tom, we'll come back to you in a moment. Fatima, did you want to introduce yourself at all? I know you're muted right now, so we can come back to you later. Fatima's on the call, kind of hanging out in the back. Oh, there you go. Fatima, do you want to say anything? Maybe not. Or maybe you're chatting to me and I can't see that right now. Sorry. Do I see? Yeah, sorry. Oh, okay. I get to see the chat now. Thank you. Tom, welcome thanks for joining us. We're just doing a quick round of introductions. Do you want to just say anything about yourself before we get started? Maybe the audio is not working for you. Okay, well, Tom, jump in if you are able to get that audio working. I think that's everyone that's here besides Rich and myself. So welcome again to everyone for joining us. And I'm really pleased today to be here with Rich Klopp, who's is serving as our Interim Executive Director. And Rich has had a lot of experience with ARNOVA, being a member for a long time, and also working with Sharik as he was transitioning out. And we're, of course, miss Sharik, but we're pleased that you were able to step in and help keep this ship going in the right direction. Rich, maybe you could say a little bit about yourself and your background for everyone to introduce yourself, please.
Sure. Thanks, Angela. And as Angela mentioned, Tom, if you get your mic working, or if somebody sorts that out, let us know. Just feel free to jump in whenever. As Angela said, I think this is pretty informal. So it's my first chat, so happy to be here, and even more happy or privileged to be able to be the interim at ARNOVA. It's an organization that's been important to probably all of us on the call, which is why we're on the call, certainly to members. And I can't remember the year I joined, but it was probably the year I showed up in Indianapolis, which was 2005, and learned about ARNOVA, whose offices was right down the street from the IU School of Philanthropy, where I did my PhD. And full disclosure, Angela Seaworth, who's on the call, and I were in the same cohort, so nice to hear her voice. And Tom Southard, who's joined the call, was an MA student, I believe, and who we crossed some paths. So Tom, I definitely remember seeing you in the Howlett halls as we tried to figure out what this thing called philanthropy is all about. But found out about ARNOVA, attended the conference a few times, and then my work is mostly has been in the nonprofit sector in executive management and leadership, mostly internationally. So I moved away from Indianapolis pretty quickly and lived internationally, and then have just moved back, actually in time to, among other things that I do, be able to serve as ARNOVA's interim. And yeah, I mean, a couple of things that I've learned about ARNOVA since being on the inside. You know, there's the outside of an organization, and then there's the inside,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So under the hood, and it's, you know, there's so much more that goes on in ARNOVA than I knew, for one. And I'm really encouraged by the solidarity and the solidity of the organization. I mean, part of it is the strength of the board, and I keep telling Angela, who's on the call, that I'm going to nominate her for Board President of the Year. That exists. A lot of details that she handles marvelously well, which makes an intern's job a lot easier. I've done several interims, and it doesn't always go that way, as some of you who do that same work know. And then we have a really empowered staff team. It's a globally decentralized team, so they know how to get things done fast. For example, at 6:30 this morning, I was getting texts from Natalia, who's on this call, sorting out some travel issues with the fellows who are inbound to Indianapolis. So, amazing empowered team as well. So without that, this interim would be a lot more difficult. So I'm just not only privileged to be in this role to hopefully smooth this transition, but I know it's gonna go very well because of the board and the staff. So to those of you that are members, worry not. We're looking forward to the executive director, and you'll hear more about that. So I'll hand it back over to Angela. Thanks.
Thanks a lot, Rich. We really appreciate all your work, and of course, everybody on the staff to come together. Transition times are not easy, but it seems like this is the best possible scenario, the best possible process. So thank you so much. Speaking of the transition, maybe this would be a good time to do a couple of updates around that, and we just want to update folks on I guess a few other things, how they're going, and then open it up for questions that anybody has for Rich or for me. So that we are obviously looking for a new executive director, which is serving as interim until we're able to get somebody onboarded, as you all know. So we are the committee's in the process right now of reviewing applications, and we've had quite a lot of them and a lot of good ones. So it's been a very interesting and challenging process, but we're excited to see all of the strong applications. And the committee, as I said, right now reviewing those, and we'll be very soon meeting to try to narrow the list down to who we'll be able to invite for interviews, Zoom interviews, and be doing that hopefully by early mid-September. We are doing this process through the Indiana University, and so we have to go through not only our own process, but making sure we're getting all the approvals and everything through IU. So the timing is not always something that we can control, but we're hoping to get that list narrowed down very soon and get the Zoom interviews set up in the next few weeks. And then we'll be interviewing those kind of top candidates, if you will, and then sort of continuing to narrow that list until we identify someone we hope to have on board before the November conference. So that's kind of the process that we're going through. The search committee is made up of 8 of us from the board, plus Pierre Rogers has joined the committee as president-elect, or will be president-elect starting officially in November. So we have a really great group doing the review and a lot of good discussion. Are there any burning questions anyone has around that? Or Rich, anything else you want to add around that process?
Nothing to add. Any questions?
Get a chance to ask questions at the end pretty soon also. So speaking of conference, where we hope to have the new executive director on board by then, this November in San Diego is our big conference, I guess you will. We of course just many of us were in Nairobi for the ARAXA, or Association for Research on Civil Society in Africa, ARNOVA Africa conference. That was really great conference in Nairobi at the end of July. So that we're kind of coming off of that conference and really have been gearing up for the conference in San Diego. I think the program draft is now out, or I know some people are getting emails notifying them about when they'll be presenting. So we're kind of actually a little bit, it seems like, ahead of schedule of what we normally happen in the past, so that's great. I know Natalia has been very involved in the conference organizing. Natalia, did you want to say anything about how things are going?
We're working really hard. Yes, we're working really hard on the conference. We have the program posted last week, so we're working on having all requests for changes completed if needed, and setting all the chairs for the session. So if any of you wants to volunteer for sharing a session, that will be very helpful. We always can use more people helping us. And we're working in different aspects of the conference for like the plenaries and finishing up some things for the conference. So yeah, a lot to do right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of details. I really appreciate all your work, and Mary Kate too. You know, there's just like the kind of regular, just getting the program together, which is a major undertaking, but then all the other sort of special aspects, or the aspects of ARNOVA's conference in November that make it special, I think, which is, you know, working with all the sections and CIGs to make sure that they, you know, set up and have space and doing their programming. We're also going to be doing a couple of kind of new things this year, including having a space at the conference where people can memorialize or remember people who have passed in the last year. We've had a lot of members, you know, who have, seems that we're losing recently, so keeping them in our memories, and there's going to be space, and there's going to be information coming out about ways people can share those memorials. We're also going to be doing a fearless dialogue session on Thursday night. That's about talking about communication across cultures, and we have some facilitators coming in that are experts in this area to help lead us, and there'll be an opportunity for people to come to that on Thursday night, and some other things, but those are big ones that I like to mention. Rich or Natalia, you have anything, or Fatima, do you have anything else you want to bring up around the conference?
I don't have anything. It's just that sounds like there's still some more opportunities for involvement in the conference. So for those on the call that might be interested in it, speak now or forever hold your peace. So,
Yeah.
We need to know in the next.
Yeah, no, I think you covered everything. Like Natalia said, we're still looking for session chairs, and then also if any of you have students or know of people kind of on the West Coast, or anyone who would be willing to travel for the conference, we are still looking for volunteers as well. And we prefer to select students, but you know, anyone who applies will be considered.
Yeah, thanks for that. And I think the roundtables, there's still opportunity to submit proposals for the roundtables for emerging scholars. Those are due, I think, by the end of this month.
Yeah, they're open until August 31st.
Thank you. And there are opportunities for sponsoring the conference, exhibiting at the conference, advertising. And if any of you are interested in that, find out more information, let me or Natalia know. We're happy to help get you connected to do that. Thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
This is Angela. I just had a quick question. With whom should I have University of California, Irvine reach out? Their nonprofit management program, it's professional development, but they're covering more of the nonprofit management piece. I know they have students there. They're not going to be full-time students, but they're going to be professionals who know how to volunteer and show up and do the job. I think they'd be really interested in ARNOVA. So who should I connect UCI with? Because I'm on their advisory board, so I'd like to let the other people know.
Yeah. So we'll reach out to you after this webinar call, and there's actually just a volunteer form to get signed up online, but we'll also connect you with Mary Kate, who helps get those scheduled for our conference.
Wonderful, thanks. Because I think if the entire advisory board knew, we could reach out to all the students who are enrolled there, and I'm sure you could get some local people that would be helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we can
Great.
draft up an announcement or an email for you to share with them too.
Wonderful, thanks so much.
Great, thank you. Yeah, helping do that.
And since we're on that topic, sorry to those of you who this might not be directed towards, but I'm on a call with Laura Dietrich later today.
Oh, okay, good.
She's in charge of the
Who's
Western
host?
region, so to speak. Yeah, hosting. So if there's a connection to be made there, let me know. I think my call's at 2:30.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'll follow up with you about that. Thank you.
Sorry, we started working.
Yeah, it never ends, right?
Back to the chat.
The other thing that I wanted to make sure that you all were aware of is not related directly to our conference in San Diego this year, but somewhat related, is we have a partnership with the independent sector. And we have been partnering with them on doing our annual policy forum that took place most recently in July, at the end of July. But we're also exploring other opportunities to partner with them. And one of the things that we're doing is the independent sector is providing a sort of one-day reduced rate for our ARNOVA members to attend their conference, Upswell, that will be in Chicago the week before our conference. And then also we're doing the same, working with independent sector to try to get some of their members to come to our conference in San Diego, and figuring out ways to, kind of cross-fertilize and collaborate across our organization. So if any of you are interested in and haven't yet received an email invitation, I think the email about the independent sector Upswell conference went out mostly to people who are in the kind of Chicago region. Let me know if you're interested, but we want to try to get our members involved in their conference. I'll be attending that conference. And Pierre will be as well. So that's, anyway, I wanted to make you aware of that opportunity and that partnership that we're working on. Are there any other things that Rich or Fatima or Natalia you want to bring up that I should have mentioned?
Fatima, Natalia, go ahead. I'll take that as a no.
I think we're okay. All right.
Yeah, we're okay.
Nope.
We're
Wait
good.
a minute. Okay, we're good. All right. Yeah, I am too. Just inviting more questions. If anybody has anything at all, please go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So Angela, Erica, Tom, do you have anything? Any questions or comments?
Actually, if anyone can, also in the email, if you could send me whether or not UC Irvine is an ARNOVA member, because if they're not, they probably should think about that as well. Their nonprofit program's only a year old, so let's introduce that as we try and solicit volunteers.
Yeah, they might have an interest in, if they haven't already, doing some kind of sponsorship or advertising.
Mm-hmm.
As well.
Yeah, since it's so close, it's just going to be a few
But they
minutes.
might, yeah, that might be a good to bring up, Rich, with Laura also, if she might have had conversations with them already. I don't know. Okay. But the more we can kind of hit them different directions, probably just as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't see that. I don't see them on
Yeah, I'm guessing they wouldn't be.
Yes,
They're
good
fairly
idea.
new. Like I said,
Yeah. Yeah.
they're
So
moving into
let's.
year 2.
That's a good,
So
exciting. Let's get
Angela,
them-
maybe,
Go ahead.
yeah, so Angela Seaworth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Seaworth, yeah.
That's confusing.
So yeah, so Fatma, when you make this connection via email here after the call, and I'm CC'd on it, Angela, feel free to send me some information, since I'm talking to the person today that sort of manages West Coast relationships. If I understood more what you just said, then I could feed that to her and then get back in touch as well.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it'd be great.
I had students from Hong Kong and Florida and New York and in my last class for them. So even though they've only been around a year, they've got an interesting reach.
Yeah, that's cool. Oh, interesting.
Sounds exciting. Yeah, I'd like to know more about the program.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for your help with that. Any other questions anyone has, or comments or concerns? If not, I guess we might be done for today. Any final words from Natalia or Fatima or Rich?
Well, just thanks to people who are on, who are members. Membership associations live and die by members. So thanks for everything you do. And I just know, sometimes you don't know, like I said, what the internal culture is. And there's just a great openness to any ideas, thoughts, things that the organization could do. I mean, one way to look at it interim is to think, well, we're gonna, wait till the new executive director is in. And in many ways, that's structurally the right thing to do. But there's also opportunity, to feed ideas in when things are in times of transition. So I just know from Angela, board president, Angela, and Eikenberry, and other, just the leadership of the organization. It's, I know there's great openness to new avenues, new ventures, new ideas, and membership associations need that anyway. So don't hesitate. I mean, these calls are organized to facilitate that, but email, text, call, we're always available.
Yeah, thanks, Rich. I agree with all that you said. Anything else, Fatima or Natalia, you want to add?
No, I don't think so. Thank you both for doing this, and thank you to everyone who was able to join the call. Help give some insight into the transition and kind of what's going on at ARNOVA. And we do plan to post some of the recordings on our website for members to watch on their own time. So if there's anything else you want to throw in there for someone who might be listening in later, feel free. But other than that, thank you both for everything.
Thank you. Yeah, I think there were a few questions that some people have registered for that aren't here, but maybe we can follow up with them directly. They were kind of more specific maybe to the situation. Sure. Natalia, anything else?
We have, sorry, we have a comment from Tom. He is in transit and has a bad connection, but he said, thank you for doing this. I appreciate being able to listen in.
Great, thanks. Thanks for joining
No
us. All right,
And,
Angela. Oh, so go ahead.
yeah, and Erica also asked for information for the Upswell conference. So Erica, we will send you that information after the webinar.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks, Natalia or Fatima. Would it be possible for you to forward that, or I could forward the email that I got?
Yeah, we can send the information.
Okay, thank you very much. And Angela or Erica, any other final words?
No, thank you all for hosting the webinar and just giving us an update. And thank you, Rich, for the work that you're doing. It's really important.
Thanks. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely. Thanks for the info, and it's great to see you both. And we'll
Thank
try and do
you.
what we can about UC Irvine.
Awesome.
Likewise.
Thanks to everyone. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. We do have one more of these sessions coming up, but I always forget to look the time up before this session to let you know what it is. Fatima, would you know by chance?
Thursday, September 26th at 4 p.m.
Okay, thank you so much so in about a month, we'll be back with updates. All right, thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay, see you again later. Okay,
Good day.
Have a good day.
bye.
Bye. Have a great day, guys.